Evening all. It's pretty late. It's 1:15. Just got back, I don't know, 45 minutes ago from the shore. Was down on the boat for the weekend. Found a little rot spot on a deck bar, so I started taking it apart, and then I'll do a video when I put it back together on common problems with old wood boats. But this video is about the Senate run. I put it out there and left it at that. But there's actually a whole lot to do. If you actually plan on running for a federal office, you've got to register with the FCC. You've got to put together a campaign committee. You've got to raise or spend $5,000 and have receipts for it for your campaign. If you start off on small local politics, I guess, then it would be pretty easy to build from there. I'm actually very happy with my local politics. Been to the planning board meetings, been to the town council meetings, been to the county meetings, and the guys who run Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania, do a really good job. And I just sit there and listen, and don't have much to say because they spend money like it's their own, and they're all born and raised here, and they give a damn. So what am I going to do? Go in and say you should do something because I'm from New Jersey originally, and you should do it different? No, they're doing a good job. That's why I moved here. So that's. But if somebody on a local level wanted to move to the state level, from the state level to a federal level, you pretty much already have the apparatus in position. I don't. So it's finish up a real busy period with where I work, and cutting back my hours. I'm cutting back my hours, not the company wants to cut back my hours. But I'm, cutting back my hours so I can, put more effort into this. The other thing I was going to say, what the hell was it? But I am going through with this, and I'm going to put it together. The Democrat Party has been absolutely hijacked. I don't even know I don't even know what the master plan is. As far as I can tell, Obama's transformation of America. You look at the interviews, he talks about how, he wants to transform America, but nobody wants their name on, the collapse. Gorbachev, he was just in a shit spot, but the whole world looks at Gorbachev and says, he's the reason the Soviet Union fell. It wasn't, but he gets the blame. Obama's got the perfect stooge in office right now, and if I had to guess, Obama's still in charge of the he's running the office, and he's putting Biden's name on everything that nobody would want their name on. But having said that, the Republican Party's no better. It was a real, if you ever play cards, somebody's holding a crappy hand and they're acting like they got it all going on, but there's certain tells. It's called the tell. Whether they have good cards or bad cards. They'll have a twitch when the cards are bad, when they're bluffing. They'll have an air of confidence when the cards are good. You pretty much, if you pay attention to people, you can figure out what they got going on. And a really glaring tell was when Mar-a-Lago got raided. Trump's Mar-a-Lago, where he had documents that he planned on using. From everything that came out at the time, it was basically about the FBI's records on the Hillary Clinton Russian collusion scam that they ran. There was no nothing else. And whether they did or not, that's not my point. The point is that you had the Democrat leadership saying, "Oh my God, that was a terrible thing. You can't break the law." And you actually had low level Democrats, newbies in office. They were like, "That's horrible. You can't do that. You can't screw with a former president. That makes us look like fucking Venezuela or Cambodia or some fucked up place that's all screwed up." And then you had a lot of junior Republicans going ballistic, saying you can't do that. But you had the Republican leadership saying, "Well, that's what happens when you screw around. Screw around, you'll find out." So they were in on it too, and that puts me in kind of a dilemma because, for the most part, I've always been an independent. I never would have bought my house in School County if, when I did my research on my representatives in Washington, I found out that they were nuts. My Democrat congressman, who actually lives in my town, he's a great guy. His name is Tim Holden, and except for redistricting, he'd probably still be there. But he was, he was a Democrat, but he was a great guy. He was a great representative. He was so middle of the road. He was so moderate. And now he's been replaced by a fucking idiot named Cartwright. But I never would have moved here if I had some screaming lunatic, liberal. Since the late 1600s, early 1700s, my family has property in Massachusetts, and when I planned on moving out of New Jersey, my father said, if you want, you can have the property in Massachusetts. And I checked it out, and I said, I could never live there. That even though it's in the middle of the state, and it's, rural and everything else, and it's been passed down from, father to son, oldest son, for the last, couple hundred years, it's like, I could never fucking live there. So now it's in a trust between myself and my four brothers. And that's the way it goes. And whoever it ends up with, I have sons, and my brother Bob has sons, and my brother John has sons, and my brother Matt has two sons. So, one of them will get stuck with it. But I could never live in Massachusetts. The home of the revolution is the most controlled state as far as I can tell. So I could never move there. I moved to Pennsylvania instead. Where was I going with this? But this is what happens when I get sidetracked. Get up early, stay up late, lose track of my train of thought. And I'm old and I'm gray, and that's why it goes. But I don't have Alzheimer's, so vote for me. I'll do you good. But anyway, I don't have the background of running for office. I don't have a bunch of people I can just tap on the shoulder and say, "Hey, listen, I'm running for whatever. Everybody jump in line." I don't like the Democrats. I really don't care for the Republican leadership. If it wasn't for the Republican leadership, the RNC, giving the talking points to Dr. Oz, who was, if anything, he's a moderate liberal, and Mastriano, who was a conservative, but I've met the guy, and he's actually a really decent guy. He did a lot of years in the military, and then retired, came home, saw things were screwed up, ran for the state assembly, got a seat, and then threw his hat in for the governorship. He's a decent guy. He's not extreme. He's not everything. But if you need the money, you got to come to us, and this is what you're going to say. They said it. They lost. And if you look through, nationwide, everybody that took the RNC money and really had no money to run. The RNC, you know, they'll finance you, but the DNC would give you zillions. And if you want to compete, this is what you got to do. So I'm thinking about running as an independent. Um, Actually thinking about, my own party, the Christian Conservatives. That seems to be that's where I'm at. But having said that, that's kind of like claiming to be a Nazi. So I don't think that would fly too good. Um, Anybody's got any suggestions on a party name or something along those lines? Drop it in the comments, because I don't think the Republican Party is going to be around too long, and I think the Democrat Party is going to destroy themselves. The Libertarians, they're associated with, legalized fentanyl and everybody get high and twitch in the street. The Green Party, I mean, that's been kind of a joke for forever. Linda, excuse me, Linda LaRouche, he had his thing going on. He wound up in prison. The who's that other group? There's another group that never, they basically got sidetracked by whack jobs years ago, and they'll never recover. But if somebody can come up with an idea for a name of a party with just, you got moderate beliefs. You want America to do good, and you don't want to be in a bunch of wars. You don't want a nuclear annihilation, and you want sound money. If it all comes together, if you got a name that says that, in a catchy phrase that can be on a bumper sticker, because anything more than that really seems to go over everybody's head. Drop it in the comments, because I'll use it. I mean, what the hell? I'm just an old guy with bad hair. What the hell? Anyway, y'all have a great night. Yeah, take care.